It is the RIOT podcast. Welcome to Wednesday, May 10th. Who's got something good to say?
Boom, 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 bing.
I think the whole
That's going to help our retention metrics.
You like that? Darn it, I forgot about that.
We want to retain you. We want you to keep listening through this
It's too
entire
late.
thing.
They're gone. It is too late.
Uh-huh.
Darn it, I blew it. It's okay.
Please don't ever leave us when he says boom, boom, bang, bing.
Yeah. I was
Hopefully,
counting on you.
I didn't know you were going to do that, or else I would have been better. I would have had something
I
ready.
can't do it every day.
I should have had something ready.
hopefully everything in the podcast, though, is good enough to keep you listening during this entire one.
You know what? Actually, we got a good comment yesterday. David texted in because we asked, it's like, do you like, what should we do with these podcast intros? And David said, make them as long as you want.
Well, we didn't know like if you enjoy the podcast length, or do you like the podcast intro just being about what's in the podcast, like a heads up, or do you like it when it's completely off subject and off topic? So yeah, I think what he would like is us to just do more podcasts.
It sounds like he just wants a whole other podcast.
Yeah,
is
of
what it
all
sounds
new
like.
stuff.
But hey, I love to hear that, but I also hate to hear it because that's more work for me.
More talking.
Yeah. I was hoping people would say, you should not do the intro.
Keep it short.
One less thing of work we'd have to do.
Well, feel free to text us anytime you have something you want to add to 877-2RadioU, just like William and others. We do a Would You Rather Wednesday question that gets a lot of good response. So if there's something you want to add to it, please text us.
Let's get to the good stuff. What did we say? We talked about Robert De Niro
Oh, that's it.
having
here.
another child at an old age. 80 years old, something like that. But I wanted to differ off of that.
Okay.
How old would my girlfriend have to be for you guys to feel
To
uncomfortable?
question it.
Old or young? So you mean like an older?
Old, yeah, older. Because if I
Well,
went,
young
if
is
I went
pretty
young,
clear.
clearly under the age of 18.
I know that, but to me, it's only gross because I don't like the old Hollywood guys that are, it's obviously like a 30, 40-year age gap. They were married before, and they have lots of kids, and now they're, like what we talked about, like Dick Van Dyke in this. Like every time I see a picture, they're always being handheld, not in a loving couple way, but like,
Let me
they're
help you.
They're so old, they have to be helped.
Well,
that
someone's got to help them.
it shouldn't be your much, much younger.
If that's what she wants to do, though.
I don't
She's
know.
a caretaker.
It's that.
But yeah, for me, how old do you think? Like,
I think 10 or 15 is
10 or 15
is
years?
usually fine.
so if she was like 40, cool.
Yeah, sure.
What about 50? What if it was like Karen? Who works at RadioU?
Well, she's taken, but she's flattered.
Darn it.
I don't know. That's why I appreciate Keanu Reeves' relationship. Because everybody always posts about how he is a non-toxic guy who's dating someone his actual age. So it's always nice to see.
I think in principle, I'd just be fine with anything.
Anything?
You would be happy with
As
anything.
long as it's legal.
True.
If
That's where we're at now at
If
Radio
a
U.
woman is happy with you, more power to her.
Gosh, you're right.
I also think you're not wealthy enough to worry about
I know.
this too much.
But that's,
No,
the point.
thing. He
Nikki,
would have to be
it's
a
me.
wealthy,
I'm the poor
woman.
one.
You're the poor.
They're
Yeah.
the rich one.
Actually, that is true. A lot
I'm
of
the
times,
sugar baby.
Sometimes when the woman's older, it's a case of that compared to like if the man's older, it's messy, guys.
Power dynamic would be weird because yet again I would be the sugar baby, but yet again I'm okay with that.
You're fine. You're perfectly okay.
We talked about that.
And congratulations if you
thank you.
find someone.
We also talked about guilt tipping.
Yeah.
We hate it. Goodness, do we hate it? And now it's a self checkout. So
Yes, it's
soak
something that
in.
you'll see more frequently at places where there's no one there to help you anyways. So
Yeah.
are you supposed to guilt tip?
And to preempt, because some people texted in and were like, well, what if it goes to charity or whatever? Let me tell you something about charity. As somebody who works at a nonprofit, you can donate directly to the charity.
Exactly. Well, they were saying some ballparks or some places will take tips and then pull that together to give, like, it could be a certain night for a certain charity. But I think based on what we were talking about, the beer cooler at the Padres game
Yeah.
is not tipping
Definitely
it.
different.
that's not going to the little
It's
kids
not.
club.
No,
all
it's
right.
not. And I think we're pretty confident in saying that. But that is a good point if you know for sure that it is. If not, I don't think they're really
I don't
doing
really
it.
like. I mean, I donate to charity. I don't like when other places are telling me, hey, why don't you roll over your change to this charity? It's like, no, I'll do it myself. I can do it
Yeah.
myself. Why do I trust you to do it?
Yeah, that's true.
I barely trust you to do anything.
Okay, so guilt tipping aside, that's also a big guilt thing because I went through Culver's the other day and they're like, do you want to round
trying to round up?
Every
Do you do
place
it?
now. I did.
Did you round up?
I did, but it was only it wasn't a lot, but that's every
At least
place
it's a charity.
now
Yeah,
will
they
do
love rounding
it.
up.
And so you don't know, is it really going someplace?
McDonald's always, they have like their Ronald McDonald whatever club where they
Yeah.
always ask you to round up. And I feel the wildest thing is when you say no to that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, would you like to round up your 11 cents? And I'm like, no.
No?
Need that dime.
You know what? I get it. If I would do it if I was paying with cash.
Yeah.
Because what am I going to do with those coins anyways?
Exactly.
Eventually take them to Coinstar or something. But like if you, for many bank cards and stuff, you can round up every transaction and put it into savings or whatever.
You could.
So
that's a smarter approach.
Just smart. And then I'll donate that to charity maybe one day.
So I feel like we're getting
my choice.
guilted even when checking out and just the, averaging up.
That's what's ruined it for me too. Is all the guilt tipping has now ruined the round up thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because now whenever my total is, I'm like, nope, nothing else. Stop it. Quit it.
Dude, that's
Stop
when you
asking me.
really feel like
but
a jerk.
before this, like before all the guilt tipping stuff, if they asked me to round up, I would round up every single time.
Yeah.
But now because they're always asking me all these questions afterwards, like, would you like to tip this? Would you like to do this? I'm like, no, just my total. Just the hamburger.
And
That's
it's
all I
hard
want.
because the more they ask and the more you get hit, the less likely you'll be able to go to that place because then you
Yep.
feel bad because you feel horrible because you're being guilted. So,
Yeah.
Guilt tipping.
guys, it just upsets
Quit.
you even when you talk about it for the second time.
Just quit it. Quit asking me. Just quit asking.
So please be upset with us and text us at 877-2-RADIO-U and make
Someone's
sure you
gonna have
say
a good
hi.
reason why we're wrong, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess. Make us
Like,
feel
you
bad.
should tip. I don't care what you said.
No, we always tip every other place.
I
Where
tip
it's appropriate.
where you're supposed to.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
evidence, and I always tip the right amount, all that jazz. But when you're asking me to tip at AutoZone, now why in the world would I tip you if all you did is just check me out? All you did was just
calm
check me
down,
out.
Calm down.
I hate
Calm
it.
You
down.
scanned a barcode.
You scan the barcode and you checked me out.
20% of this transaction,
You didn't
please.
do anything else.
Well, we'll let you go so you can hear us get mad about things again. All right. Enjoy the podcast today.
Catch
See
you
you
next
guys.
time.
Bye.
Hey, they're already eating anyways. Might as well do it on the show. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
Nikki, let me ask you something. Did you just put on lotion?
Oh, the smell, I put a new spray on.
Oh, it's a spray.
It's a spray. What do you think
I
of
thought
it?
it was lotion because you do have it smells nice.
You like it?
I do like it.
Yeah, it's like a hairspray sort of body mist thing.
Uh-huh. What's the scent supposed to be?
It's supposed to be like pistachio and like vanilla.
I was getting that. I was
Did
going to
you?
guess. No.
Yeah? Oh,
no,
you're
no,
lying
no.
then.
No,
I
it
was so-
smells good, but
was
you could have told
excited.
me anything and I would have, it just would make sense.
You're like hints of pistachio, of course.
Yeah, obviously. They're just making it up. But it smells good. But I was thinking I had lotion on the brain because, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
You've got that lotion that's so smelly and it also smells nice. Then I was thinking if this was the lotion, I was thinking like it would be so crazy if I came in here and smelled like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's just lotion.
You are more than welcome to use the lotion.
I know, but I know it'd be fine for you and me sitting here. But what if I walk in later to Michael's office
And
our
you smell
boss,
like that?
And I smelled like that. He'd
There's
be like,
nothing
what are you
wrong.
doing?
It's lotion.
He'd say, did you just eat a thing of yogurt or what is going on with you?
It's a lotion. I forget what the type is, but it's just really nice.
There's some kind of oil, like
argan oil. That's
argan
it.
oil.
It's argan oil, and
Yeah.
every time I put it on, someone has the audacity to come into my office, and they're like,
point it out.
"What's that?"
Yeah, it's a type of smell that I just think, as a guy, if I put that lotion on in the privacy of my own office and knew nobody would bother me, then it would be okay.
Yeah.
But if other people I'm going to be interacting with other people smelling like that, it's just going to raise some questions and eyebrows.
I'll tell you though, it's available anytime you want to use it.
I know, but I just can't feel comfortable using it. And I don't think that's fair.
You haven't been desperate then with
I think
dry hands.
it's not fair that guys get all the boring lotion. We should get smelly lotion too. We should be able to smell fruity if we want to.
Yeah, sure.
And also have nice, smooth, soft hands.
Well, it's like I said, it's there. I can bring it down that way. If you just want the studio to smell, then you are.
Actually, you know what I have right here?
you're welcome to.
Check this out.
What do you got?
Boring lotion from a hotel or something.
How could you? That's
Yeah.
a travel lotion.
Yeah, I got to have it on me. but it just can't. I can't have one that smells fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and which means it doesn't probably work as well.
Well, the Battle of the Buzz, like we said, is coming in an hour, and we'll see if any of us go back upstairs for more lotion.
Yeah,
or are
we'll
we
get
fine?
moisturized between now and then.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Have you guys seen the influencer that has confessed to eating her own knee cartilage?
Thankfully that's not made it to my For You page, so I have not seen that.
Does that bother you?
Yeah, it does.
This knee cartilage eating?
I mean, it's pretty disgusting.
What does knee cartilage look like?
You know what? I don't know. You want me to look it up and show a picture to you? Hold on.
I mean, maybe keep the picture to
Hold
yourself.
on.
Maybe
I'm looking it up.
I'll live the rest of my life wondering.
So you know what she ate. Well, what about like a little cartoon kind of looking deal?
That won't gross me out as much?
Yeah, here you go. See, it's this, I guess it's this blue part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Does that work for you?
It's better than like my leg or something, like instead of eating the meat.
It's cartilage. It's like the same stuff as in your nose and ears.
Yeah, okay.
And so you want to know why she did it?
It's probably
Or how,
They
even?
probably believe it's healthier for you.
No.
Like recovery
I
or
don't
something.
think human flesh is usually the.
Well, no, it's cartilage. So
I don't
mean,
care what it is, Nikki. If it's on my body, I don't think someone needs to eat it.
I agree with you on that, but sometimes what people do when it's gross, they're like, but it's good for you.
Yeah, like, like the placenta or whatever.
Sure.
Like
There's a lot of things that are good for you that people don't even do every day. So
works for
I don't want to
Tom
hear
Cruise
it.
or whatever.
I'd rather start with spinach or something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this story. So she had a torn meniscus. It's a common sports injury. My uncle had a torn meniscus. So when you have a torn meniscus, they do an arthroscopic surgery. The surgeon will like drill little tiny holes in your knee, and she stayed awake for it. You can do that. Now that's the crazy part to me. She wanted to watch.
Weirdo. Continue.
So she could watch the surgery, and then he pulled out like part of the torn off meniscus, and so the rest of it can heal. And then he was like, "Do you want to take this back with you? Because they sometimes do that after surgeries, right?
You get to keep.
Or you get to keep your stuff."
I don't think that's often, or at least I don't think a lot of people take you up on it.
Yeah, I don't think many people opt for it, but she did. She says he gave it to her in like a little cup, like you would do.
Like a jar?
Why did she say this? Like you would have for a urine sample.
Yeah.
Why would you use that as your example? But you're not helping your cause here. But she got it. She preserved it in some kind of alcohol, she says. And then fast forward like a week later, her and her boyfriend are having a jokey conversation where she says, I feel like I want to eat my removed knee cartilage. And this is her quote, because it was a part of me and I had to put it back in my body.
Yuck.
And so she whipped up a spaghetti bolognese sauce, which sounds delicious, and added the knee cartilage into that.
And they ate it? So the boyfriend ate it too?
Possibly. I don't know. See, I'm wondering. I don't know how big this piece was and how chopped up it was. If it's cartilage, I imagine it'd be hard to chop up.
Sure.
And it couldn't have been so large anyway. So maybe it's just a mystery. Maybe one ate it, one didn't. Or I don't know if they were like, all right, you get half. But nevertheless, it's been ingested.
Listen, because they took it out, your body was rejecting it. Your body didn't like it. It wanted it out. It doesn't want you to eat it. And you did. I feel a bit of it maybe for attention.
Hey, it's working.
Just curious enough. So that's why they did it.
Yeah. There's a lot of, influencers that are very beautiful. And it's hard to stand out. And she found her niche. She found her way to stand out. And she does have a good point here. She says she doesn't think it's weird because everyone has eaten the bones, cartilage, and body parts of worse animals.
Well, just not your own. Normally, we don't do that.
I mean, if you could ever assure something is safe, it's your own body that you could eat.
Again, they took it out for a reason, so it's
because it was torn. It wasn't infected.
Do you think she's worse or the boyfriend? Because I kind of think the boyfriend's worse.
I don't know. I think this is all just so wrong. I would never do it. I could never pull myself to something like this. But then the whole time the story was going on, I wasn't looking at the pictures. She's stunning. This is wild. You would never expect her to do this.
You wouldn't
She's
expect.
gorgeous.
You wouldn't expect stunning crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. I wasn't like like when I clicked on the pictures, I was like, what the heck? She's a model. Like
That's probably why when she said, I need to eat my knee cartilage because it was a part of me and I need it back in my body, her boyfriend didn't go, I'm out.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes when you're so beautiful, no one's telling you no when you should be hearing a really strong no.
Oh, I would have eaten it. I would have for sure eaten it. If she was like, you want this? I'd be like, if you want me to, I guess I have to.
Maybe that's her key to beauty.
Could be
is
it.
eating her own rejected body parts.
I love that so much. You're like, no, I just don't leave me. I'll eat it. It's fine.
Find more Riot content online. riot.radiou.com.
For like a little while back when fruit roll-ups were kind of having a little moment
Oh,
on
they
TikTok.
were? With the ice cream.
Yeah, where you would like freeze them, and then some people, I remember some people saying you can eat the wrapper, which is not true. But they went viral for a moment. I wonder if that explains why in Israel, a couple of Americans were caught smuggling in 350 pounds worth of fruit roll-ups.
It's an odd thing to be smuggling,
It is,
but
isn't it?
are we sure they were fruit roll-ups?
It sure looks like it.
Well, what's the sugar on it?
This is an entire, I'm looking at least one suitcase. It says actually 375 pounds of fruit roll-ups is how much it actually was. And they just have suitcases and suitcases full of them. Why do you even have to smuggle that? Like, why would they seize that?
That's what I was thinking.
Well,
Like, can't
why
you
is it
just
not
bring 'em?
allowed?
I guess one question is, are they sold there? I would think so. And if not, it just might be the mass quantity of food items. Because sometimes when you go to different countries, you have to declare what food do you have.
How is anybody supposed to know that, though?
What do you mean?
How are you supposed to know if you're going to Israel and you just really want fruit roll-ups that you can't bring 375 pounds?
Well, you can only bring so much.
Yes.
If you feel like you're overdoing it, you're probably overdoing it.
And if you have a suitcase dedicated to it, then I think it's a problem. And I think they just want to flag anything that might be a problem.
I'm hearing a lot of judgment over there.
Well, it could be.
If you have
And
a
because if-
suitcase dedicated is a problem.
And if you have a whole suitcase of fruit roll-ups, immediately every single person's going to think drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true, but if it's not drugs, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, we don't have time to check every suitcase.
And
Get it out of here.
it doesn't mean that it's drugs right then and there, but like, what are they doing with it once the fruit roll-ups are in?
Oh,
Smart,
is there
Nikki.
something you know about fruit roll-ups that you'd like
Well,
to share?
No, it's
Well, it just sounds like it. If you're describing fruit roll-ups in pounds, that usually means you've got too many.
You know what it sounds like to me? You guys sound paranoid. You don't have any idea about drugs at all, do you?
Do you ever watch the shows with the airport security when they go through
That's
customs?
just TV.
Well, then, Hudson, let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Then why did it get seized?
Oh.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm wondering. I don't see the big deal.
Well, it's pretty wild because we gave you an answer, and oddly enough, you're just denying
You're not
it.
accepting it.
I'm trying to find
There-
an actual answer.
They
What
say
does it
that-
say?
They say that they tried to convince custom officials that it was for personal use only, but it does seem like they're reselling it or they're doing something with it. But we don't know if fruit roll-ups are just not for sale in Israel or what's the deal.
I guess I wish I had a list of the things I can't bring 350 pounds of on a plane.
Well,
there's
here-
a list of the things I can't bring 3 ounces of,
Yeah.
but not 350 pounds
So
of.
I think some of the issue was they were smuggling in through 10 different postal shipments. So I think that's part of the problem too. It's a
So-
tax thing.
How am I supposed to smuggle in 350 pounds of fruit
That's a good
roll-ups?
question.
And think about this too. Think about how many fruit roll-ups 350 pounds is.
Yeah.
Like 350
I have the number.
pounds. That's wild. How many?
Do you want the number?
Yes.
9,936 fruit roll-ups they were smuggling in.
So if you are considering bringing 9,000 of anything on the plane, you need to
They're going
turn
to
around.
flag you.
Yeah.
They want to
Shocker.
know what you're doing because I think, again, they were reselling once they got there. They were doing something with it, which is a tax thing.
I just wish that everything was, there's just rules you just never know about.
Listen, if anything's ever in that quantity, there is going to be rules with
There's
it.
going to be a rule for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
glad it happened to these guys and not me because it could have been me.
Is this one of the things
could've been any of
where,
us.
what do? You ask for forgiveness later instead of
Yes.
permission?
Now
It
the
is.
wild part is now they've got $350 worth or 350 pounds worth of fruit roll-ups, and what are they going to do with it?
Well, I'm sure they're
Return
going to
it?
eat it.
Eat it all? I mean, that's got to be so much money.
Customs officials will put it on the shelf next to the drugs
Yeah.
they did end up getting.
we're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
I've got a story about a guy that's taking extreme measures to save money, and I think it's inspirational for all of us. This guy, he's a single dad in Australia, and he recently suffered an accident at work that left him unable to actually, he wasn't able to work, so he was living off of workman's comp pay.
Yeah.
Which isn't apparently a ton. And so he's had to find some pretty wild ways to cut down on his budget. And this is also crazy, though. I was looking, he has, so the thing he is trying to save money was on his electric bill.
Oh, that's the thing they say is going to hit everybody hard it's already hit everybody hard, but it'll be harder this summer.
I don't know how long, like if this was, maybe this is a couple months that he went without paying it before they finally are like, we're going to disconnect. So he had a $1,351
Electric bill? For what?
Yeah, what was
How
he
much?
doing?
What did he leave on?
I don't know what.
Everything,
Oh my
Nikki.
God.
I mean, he has
Everything.
kids, so they are probably, maybe it's the kids.
Oh, I don't know. I've not heard of it.
1,000?
Maybe
That's
there's
crazy.
Maybe it's converted differently or something to like US.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they only do it every 6 months or something like that.
Maybe.
but
Please tell us that's not normal.
Nevertheless, he's got to pay it, right? He's got to pay it or he's not going to have electricity. So he's got to cut back. And also, you see that's an eye-popping number. You got to cut back on your electric bill. So here's one of the ways that he decided to combat that. He now in his home has one light bulb.
One light bulb?
And so when he goes from room to room, he carries the light bulb with him. He'll
does.
unscrew it and take it to the other room.
Like a lantern.
He's
pretty
serious about
much.
it. Well, does his kids get their own light bulb, or do they have to walk around him?
They follow him.
They follow
Or
him.
they sit in darkness.
They say it was desperate measures.
He also doesn't eat food that requires cooking, doesn't take hot showers, and doesn't turn on the light, use that light bulb until the sun goes completely down.
Oh, really?
The sun sets.
Now, he said he's a single dad.
Uh-huh.
I don't see that changing anytime
I don't think so either.
I understand
Now-
Well,
budgets.
you know what? He also wouldn't be getting a lot of dates if he becomes homeless or
That's
something.
Now
so.
listen,
True,
Nikki.
true.
I think that he needs to go about this a different way, especially if he wants to find a woman. He needs to just cut out that light bulb. He needs to go all candles.
Yeah.
Get the place smelling good, the romance up. It's dark in there,
He's-
yes, but flame lit. Just every room, I want a candle in there.
I know that sounds nice, but I feel like then you're burning your house down accidentally eventually.
Oh, it's gonna be hot.
He doesn't have to. He's not able to go to work, so he's got nowhere to go.
Oh,
so he
man,
can
it's
stay
just
there
tough
and make
there.
sure it's safe.
His rent was increased. He's just always, he says, in survival mode because it's exhausting because you realize it's not a temporary thing. And they just say that it is so difficult for so many people there. And I did the conversion because in Australian money for US dollars, it was $1,351.40 for his last bill.
Ouch.
That's
is
crazy.
outrageous. Well,
Aw.
look, if you're having money problems, it's your own fault. You've got to do these kind of things.
This is the measures you have to
The
take.
only thing preventing you from having money is having only one light bulb and not eating food that requires cooking.
I just like
Then you can be rich.
poor kids are like, Dad, I want to go in, the office or something. And you're like, well, take the light bulb, son.
Take that bulb with you, boy.
Don't turn anything else on.
Yeah.
Your For You page would be a lot more fun if it had Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah. Follow at RadioU Official on TikTok. The Riot. Radio U.
Let me talk to you about Joey Batista. If you're a reality TV junkie, he might sound familiar to you if you're like really, really into reality TV. He was on the show Kate Plus Date on TLC a while back.
Okay.
That's Kate, like John and Kate Plus 8.
Yeah.
Like Kate Gosselin.
Okay.
He dated her twice on the show.
Interesting.
Didn't work out. He also has dated at least 599 other women at least once where it didn't work out.
So he's a serial dater?
He has been on over 600 first dates.
Ooh.
He's 43 years old, and he still hasn't found the one. He says,
I don't know. I don't want to throw, date stones at someone, but if he's going on so many first dates, why do they never go to the second date?
maybe it's his choice.
then he's not doing it right. He needs to change it. If he's tired of being alone, he would love to meet someone. Sometimes you got to get past the first date and keep trying, you know?
Well, he got to the second date with Kate.
I guess.
It still didn't work out.
I guess.
It sounds like I don't know if he was super into her. It was enough to go on a second date, but it also sounds like she was kind of the reason that the third date didn't happen between the two of them. But his phone, not only has he been on at least 600 first dates, he also has more than 1,000 women's numbers
in his
phone.
Oh,
now that's crazier to me.
gross.
That is insane to me.
Well, okay, Isaiah, let me ask you one thing. We talked the other day about, say your friend breaks up with someone, you don't usually follow them on social media. You kind of sever that connection. But you said a lot of your friends don't, and you just stay friends, just casual. So if you're dating someone for a couple of dates and you're done and you know this person's not going to continue, do you delete the phone number?
See,
Or
Nikki,
do you keep that forever?
the best part is you don't save it in the beginning.
No, that's not
You just
the
have the
answer.
number in there, and then if you get to a second date, then you can save their number. Don't commit to saving their number that early on. That's
Okay.
crazy. But if you do put their number in the phone, there's no way you're deleting that.
Even after a couple of dates, you're like, I'm never connecting with this person again. So you leave that many numbers?
You leave it in there because you just never know when you'll circle back.
Oh my gosh.
I actually see the value of why he would keep the 1,000 numbers. I'll tell you why. I've only deleted a couple numbers out of my phone in history. And you know which numbers they were?
Which ones?
Like the 2 breakups I went through.
Yeah.
Other than that, I still have people in my phone. I don't even know who they are.
Don't
but
you
I put their
believe
phone number in.
in digital cleaning? You're supposed to clean up your digital world.
It is
Why?
crazy.
What's it hurting?
What's it hurting?
What is
It's
it hard?
wild. If you go through like my contacts, I would have no idea
Who they are? Yeah.
It
so
would
why,
be like Ashley, Katie, Jeff. I'd be like, I don't know.
So
like
why
I don't know.
you just delete them then?
Because what's the harm of having them there?
Because then you have the upper hand when they text you back and they want to start something again. You're like, who's this?
But see, that's why I keep especially if I was going on a bunch of first dates, I'd keep those numbers just because if they circle back way in the future, then at least you know, oh, that's who this is.
Well, if you
instead of
ever-
having to jog your memory, because it's probably hard to keep track of 600 women.
Absolutely. Let's say you were going on your 50th date and you really like someone. Like you've been together for a while, you've met your family, all this stuff, and you're like, hey, can I borrow your phone for a minute? I want to look up a number, and you go through and you see like thousands of women. It's going to come off the wrong way.
Well,
No, that just shows that you're a killer. Like, what do you want? It shows you're a man.
I'm sure somewhere between date 1 and date 50, if this guy ever happens to get there again, he'd go through and delete the 1,000.
He would just be like, sweetheart, look at me. I had all these options, and I picked you.
And I had an article in the New York Post about me, so
Yeah.
it's not like his history is not going to be out there for everyone to see. You know? She knows
Also,
what
this
she's getting
guy,
into.
I mean, this is wild. It'd be one thing if he was like he's like a stud.
You're right. How is he?
Like
He doesn't look
I
bad.
think
He's
he doesn't
just
look
older.
bad,
Yeah.
but he doesn't look like if I said this guy's been on a date with 600 different women, you would be like stud. This guy here, it sounds like he's being just like a wee bit too picky,
Yeah.
and he has this image in his head of the girl he's supposed to be
Dang.
with, and then he hasn't looked in the mirror recently and
Does he
seen that maybe not.
look a little bit like Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
He does.
He does.
Sure.
He does.
And everyone would be shocked if Ricky Gervais had been on 600 first dates.
With 1,000 numbers in his phone.
Well, I'm
for
going to
sure.
leave this article with perhaps today's a good day for a little digital organization of removing some old numbers so it's not so cluttered.
Here's my last question. How many first dates is too many then?
Too many?
Yeah. When do you look in the mirror and say, I think I've been on too many first dates. I need to change my ways.
I don't think you need to be on 600 to start asking
Well,
that
I
question.
know, but there's between 1 and 600.
I'd say
I don't know. It depends how
100.
old you are. This guy's 43. He's averaging 30 dates a year if he started at 23.
Yeah.
He also
Which
was
is-
married for 5 years.
Which is pretty aggressive. That
Oh, he was already married?
No, he's averaging like 40 dates a year. That's
This
so
is-
aggressive.
I'm assuming 600 dates since he was divorced in 2011, so 12 years.
And then
Oh,
he was,
jeez, that's so many dates a year.
I'm not saying he is a red flag, but he
What is
is
that,
a
like?
flag of some sort.
Like
He's
50
wasting
dates a year?
money. That's
like every
crazy.
weekend he's going out.
You know how expensive it is to take girls on dates? That's crazy.
and he
What a
lives
waste
in New
of money.
York. That's even more expensive.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
All right, let's do Would You Rather Wednesday. We got a question from William. William texted in. We had so many questions this week. We had to, I hate to do this. We had to turn some people or put their questions on the shelf for the future.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be postponing those just to future editions.
Yeah,
but
we
thanks for
will
making
get to them.
it much easier by providing these Would You Rather Wednesday questions.
But William was in first with the first best question, which is, would you rather be amazing at one thing but suck at everything else, or be average at everything but not amazing at anything?
Oh, William, that's a good question.
It is a good question, and I like that William, clearly he's a routine listener to the Riot, because he basically quashed all of the loophole concerns, or like explained it all out more for those people who like to poke holes in the Would You Rather questions. He's like saying, if you're amazing at this one thing, you're amazing. You're better than 99.9% of people.
Okay, at the one thing.
But you're horrible at everything else. You're just giving everything up to be great at one thing. But if you're average at everything, that means like you're literally like better than 50% of people, but also worse than 50% of people at every single thing you do. So,
which would you rather?
Text in at 8772 Radio U with your answer. Anybody willing to go or made up their mind yet?
I think I would still prefer to be average at everything, because I feel like we're closer to that anyways.
Exactly.
So it'd be what mimics life the most. And yeah, I think I'd prefer just to be overall better at just an assortment of things, even though that means I'm not amazing at one particular thing.
Okay.
I think I could just do better at life.
Nikki wants to be average.
I'll be average, yeah.
Isaiah, you have any thoughts? I'm thinking, but I feel like I need some time. I feel like I need a song.
process.
What do you think?
I'm ready to roll whenever. If you want me to go now, I can go now. I have a great answer. Or I can wait.
Let's save it if it's that great.
Oh, it's incredible.
We'll get to Isaiah and I's
Per
answers
usual.
and everyone else. 8772 Radio U.
They better actually be good if you're making us wait, all right?
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Would you rather Wednesday? The question today comes from William. He texted into 8772 Radio U with the question, would you rather be amazing at one thing, better than 99.9% of people at one thing, but suck at everything else where 99.9% of people are better than you at every other thing? Or would you rather be average across the board where literally it's a 50-50 split? Everything you ever try,
You're never amazing.
you're never amazing.
But you're not awful.
You're always perpetually in the middle.
So Jocelyn said, I'm going to go with the first option, thinking more like that one amazing thing you would do would be almost your superpower of sorts. So there's an option there.
Got
Matthew
it.
said average at everything.
Okay.
And he says, I always tell people I know a little bit about a lot of things. So I guess that's going with average.
Okay.
Matt says average. There's too many things I like and I'd be disappointed to be bad at them. And then Jamie says, because I went with average.
Yeah.
Jamie said, though, I'm with Nikki. I feel like I'm already average at most stuff and I'm pretty happy with life. That's a good call there, Jamie.
Yeah, I disagree.
You are going with the amazing thing?
I'm going with amazing. Here's the thing you don't understand, Nikki, that most people don't get to experience what it's like to be amazing at one thing. I'm really lucky that I have gotten that.
Oh, here it comes.
That I've
Here
been
we
able. Now, the difficulty is when you're so amazing at one thing, then you have the burden of having to do that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could get out of radio. But I feel like
'Cause
I'm
it's your
already.
burden?
Yeah, because I'm better than 99.9% of people. So I feel like I'm already living this kind of.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what I'm going with.
But okay, say you're amazing at radio. But what if, because now you're average at everything else, but what if everything else you sucked
Yeah,
at? So like you couldn't drive, you can't dress yourself, like you can't
Dress
do,
yourself?
You
And
can't
Nikki,
do
Nikki,
anything.
you're describing his life. Look at him. Look at him.
Even worse than it is now. Everything else you'd be awful at.
Well, this is a difficult truth, but if I got to pick the thing I was amazing at, it would be radio.
Yes, there you go. That's the real kicker there.
Well, Isaiah, would you be amazing at one thing, or would you want to just be average at everything?
See, I feel like I'm like definitely in like that average right now. I'm average at a lot of things.
Charitable.
And a bunch of people in the comments as well felt they were really average at a lot of things, which is such a common thing. So for me, I think I would just pick one thing to be amazing at, just to experience. Like everyone's like, I'm pretty happy with my life, whatever. And I don't really want to live like an average life. I want to be great. I want to be great at one thing. I want to be a singer.
That's what you want?
You think Beyonce has to be good at anything except for singing?
That's
no.
true.
No.
Rihanna? No. Ed Sheeran? You think Ed Sheeran's good at anything except for singing?
So if you think about that way, then, so if you surround yourself with everybody else to cover all the other stuff you can't do, and you just focus on the one amazing
That's
thing.
what I was thinking. I was thinking if I got to choose, I might pick like really great at money management or whatever, because then I could just pay people. I'd be able to manage my money to be able to pay people to do other things for me
And no one
that
knows
I needed done.
that you're awful at everything else.
Yeah, because it's just like, no, I just have a servant to do that. And I pay them the appropriate amount where they are happy and also my job gets done.
Don, thanks for texting. What if the one thing, though, you're amazing at is sucking at everything? So, Don, don't take apart the would you rather question like that, all right?
If you get to be amazing at one thing, you get to pick it for sure.
Sure.
And that's what I would do.
I'm for sure going to be a singer. I'm going to have assistants. I'm going to be famous. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
I just don't think we realized with this question of the morning that that how bad you are at everything else.
I don't think...
I'd trade anything for fame. Look at me. I'm on the radio.
Since everybody assumes we're average at everything, I don't think we realize how much we suck at things.
Yes, maybe.
It's the riot.
Thanks, William, for your Would You Rather Wednesday question.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
We're all familiar with the term guilt tipping. You heard of that?
Yeah.
Isaiah?
When they're right there and they, ask, what would you like to tip? And it's guilty.
Yeah, even not necessarily the person, but just the fact that they're like, they turn
Always
the screen
asking.
around to you and just say, now the iPad is just going to ask you for a quick response or whatever. Yeah, where you're just kind of, it's not leave a tip if you feel like it. It's, you have to make the conscious decision to say, no, I don't want to tip.
And a lot of times guilt tipping is kind of tied into places where you don't feel like you were tipping to begin with. And now that's an option.
Yeah, boy, is that the truth, because now guilt tipping is not just an issue at, the coffee shop or sandwich shop or wherever you might expect it at this point. It's also making its way to self-service kiosks.
Like self-checkout?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, you're doing it. Are you tipping yourself?
Actually, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You should get a discount. I know. You have family members that say that are like, are they going to pay me to bag my groceries now? Is that what's going on? That is how this, if anything, should work. But listen to this. Listen to this fool. I got a 28-year-old guy here. Went to a self-service beer fridge at San Diego's Petco Park, home of the Padres. Mm-hmm. It asked him for a tip. Self-service beer fridge. He left 20%.
20%?
Wild.
What a fool.
It's expensive anyways.
Yeah.
And self-service stuff.
It's a beer fridge at a baseball game in California. The beer was probably like $18. And then he put 20% on top of that.
He paid the tip, or was he just mad?
No, he said he did it.
Why would you?
He said he didn't even know where it was going, but he did it anyways. He felt guilty.
Wild. Guilty for what? I don't even understand. I hate this so much.
Do you feel guilty that there's someone involved in getting the item to the self-kiosk that you should be tipping or needs your support or something?
Wild.
I don't know. It's just, I guess it's for some people, it's hard to say no. Or listen to this. This is a good quote. Garrett Bamiller is a 26-year-old who said, just the prompt in general is a little bit of an emotional blackmail. Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. It just feels like it's making you feel like the jerk for saying no, even though I don't think I would feel like a jerk if nobody's standing there.
Yeah. Well,
but when they're looking at you, it's a little
service.
tough because I feel like they know, even though they turn the screen around, and they know where your finger's going. They know where the no button is.
But what do I owe you? What do you mean? I just bought the product.
There isn't even a you in this case.
I know, it's crazy.
It's not. It's just the place trying to get more money for the item. They either, charge more, they keep the prices going up and up, or in order to stop that, they hope to get a little extra money by trying this tip thing.
Whenever I see a tipping thing at a place where it shouldn't be, it makes me so much much less likely to tip. It's wild. If you had a jar, I was at an ice cream restaurant and they had a little tipping thing, no way I'm picking up on that thing. There's no way I'm giving you $1 on the little tipping thing when you shove it in my face. 0% chance. If you had a jar there, like you should. Because a jar, that's a special thing. Like if I put the $1 in the jar, that's real special.
You let your kids drop the coins in it, whatever. They feel like they're doing something cool.
There's still a low chance I would do that, but it would be more likely than you shoving that 20% in my face after you just scooped an ice cream cone, which is your job to do.
This bothers me.
Crazy.
I just want to let you know, Isaiah goes to a particular ice cream place that does the guilt tipping, and
every
it
time.
bothers him every time.
Like, what is your job? I don't understand. If it's not scooping the ice cream, I have to give you a tip to do your job. It's crazy.
Well,
it's
remember
wild.
these terms: tipflation, tip creep. It's really just places trying to get extra income. So it's not even sure if it's a self-serve kiosk. That's not going to a worker. It's just going to the place.
That's crazy.
So let's figure this out. What's the devil's advocate argument for this?
There is none.
For the
There has to be.
self-checkout's egregious.
There
That's
is none.
crazy.
There must be something.
There's not.
Let's come up with one.
No.
Let's put our heads together.
I can't imagine who am I tipping? The Coke guy that delivered the Coke to the rest? Like, I don't understand.
He
To the-
deserves it. He's driving
Clearly.
around.
It's not going to him.
He's only getting paid, several dollars an hour, a living wage, well above minimum wage.
But the process to get it there hasn't changed. They're just wanting more money for the thing that was set up already.
Greedy. Wild. Insane.
See, again, he's really mad about the ice
hate
cream
this.
place.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Nikki, you use your Siri a lot, right?
Siri?
Siri.
Yeah, I do.
You just woke up everyone's Siri.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Siri.
Did you,
Sorry, Siri, turn off.
Did you hear what, you just apologized to your phone?
It's called being respectful. It's like my assistant. So
Like, I don't need you right now.
No wonder that the robots are asking for tips.
I know, right?
You say, sorry, I'm not going to tip you to him as well. All right, wait, pretend that you have to tell Siri to do something. I want you to just do it real quick. I want to hear how you do it.
Hey, Siri, give me directions to.
Does that sound like how she normally talks?
Yeah.
It's like her radio voice,
Pretty
yeah.
similar.
It's my nice voice.
It's her presenter voice.
How come you never use your nice voice to me?
I do too.
She does on the radio, but not off the radio.
Oh my gosh, you two. That is not true.
I have a new
I
study.
use my supportive voice with you all the
Yes,
time.
she does. She does have a supportive voice.
I just was wondering. I wanted to do like just our own little study here because I have an actual scientific study from the University of California, Davis, where they found that people talking to Alexa and Siri and other items of that, AI voice assistant type deals.
Yeah.
They found that people talk differently to them than they would to a regular person in normal life.
I feel like you have to talk sweeter.
True, it's
Or
true.
Sweeter?
Yeah, sweeter and slow it down a bit. You're not yelling at Siri.
Or you
Well,
wouldn't want to be mean.
if you use your annoyed voice, which I also have, that one, it doesn't always recognize.
I wonder if that's by design.
My voice does not get recognized by my Alexa.
It won't?
And
You're not being
hate
sweet
it.
enough.
No, it's my roommate. It listens because in my house, all of my lights are controlled by Alexa.
Yeah.
And so I just tell her like, Alexa, living room off, right? And but my voice, for whatever reason, she won't listen to me. She will not listen to me. It takes me like 2 or 3 tries. Where my roommate, she listens every single time. I'll tell you one thing as well. It's a big ick for women when your Alexa won't even take you seriously, and I hate it. I'll walk out of the house and I'll be like, Alexa, living room off, and then she will not do it. My roommate Andrew will say Alexa, living room off in his little voice that he does, and it works every single time.
I think you need to
It annoys
just-
me to no end.
You have to go in and look at settings because we have one Google Home that doesn't like to listen to me as much as to listen to Eric.
Yeah.
And when Eric walks by, it's like, good afternoon, Eric. It just automatically.
Master Eric.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what about me? But then the other. So I think it could be a setting thing.
Would it be so bad to just have light switches?
No, it's so much better. Once you
That's
go,
not
no
what
light switches.
This is about, Hudson.
Yeah.
Okay.
You walk into your house and you say Alexa living room on. Every woman that walks in there is like, wow, look at this guy.
Look
In
how
my 100 by
authoritative he
100
is.
square foot house.
So, we had light switches. They worked just fine. Was did anybody have a problem with light switches? And then some guy came along. What if we clap to turn
but
on the
listen to
lights?
this, Hudson.
What if we make it more difficult?
If you can, why wouldn't you? Like, I can walk in the house and I can say, Alexa, turn the living room to blue. I can say, Alexa, do whatever, and she'll just do it. She'll turn the lights to whatever color. She'll play whatever song. I can say, Alexa, set the mood, and she'll turn the lights to pink and play like romantic music. It's incredible.
First off, your house sounds scary.
It is scary.
Second of all, like at my office in my house at home,
Yeah.
I put a bookcase over my light switch. So I always tell my Google to turn on my light because I can't get to it. So sometimes this is needed.
Yeah, I can see that. I just what this is not even what we were talking about, is it? But this is a better conversation. I don't know. I just I understand light switches aren't very appropriately and clearly placed.
That's how mine is in my house.
Yeah, I still don't know which light switches control all the lights in my house, but
Yeah.
once I figure that out, it's pretty easy for me to use those and not hook things
Mine's
up to my
like
voice.
the main light in my room, in the living room, it's a lamp. And so if I wanted to turn on the lights in the living room, I would have to walk over to the lamp, which is in the corner of the room, to turn it on. And so that's the main reason we have the speak lights.
You don't have an overhead light in your living room?
Not in my living room, no. But
Not
I
everybody does.
have a really big lamp that's in there, like
Yeah.
a very large lamp that's plugged into the wall, and that's how my living room is.
That brings me to another issue: houses that don't have lights in the ceiling.
Oh, save
It
that for
really
another
bothers-
morning if that bothers you.
No, it does.
It really does. So they say that when you're communicating with AI, so like any of our devices, that a lot of times people will change their voice because you'll do like a louder, slower speech with less pitch variation.
Like when you're talking to
speak.
somebody dumb.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But cheerful. Cheerful,
My
though.
name's Hudson. Do you understand?
Hey, I can tell you don't do a lot of AI because that is
that's how I talk to them.
that's not going to work.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Here's a chance for Nikki to air her grievances because Nikki's been heated about Robert De Niro, 79 years old. He just welcomed a new child into the world.
A baby?
Yeah, a little baby
Are you
with his.
clapping?
Isn't that what you're supposed to do? I don't hang out with kids a lot, or people that have kids.
Or 79-year-olds?
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's a congratulations moment, right? It's a seventh child.
Well, I think this purely comes by us reading so many news sources.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times we don't pass these news stories on because, I mean, it's usually like Hollywood style stuff and we don't really do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I am all for you love who you love, and that's fine. Sometimes age is a thing, but he is 79 years old and she's in their 40s, I think.
Uh-huh.
It's just hard seeing age gaps that are so big. And sometimes that is icky to me.
This is wild. His oldest daughter is 51.
I
Yeah.
know.
And he's about to have a 0-year-old.
And I think that's really icky. So I have had a tough time with this one.
Who was he? Who was the girl that who's his girlfriend? or whatever?
Her name
She-
is Tiffany Chen. She is like a martial arts like coordinator or
Got
something.
her.
That's how
And
they met in a movie.
Film producer. I've got it
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
They met in The Intern, which was an old Robert De Niro movie. And
Oh, how romantic!
I also don't like it. I also don't like because I think he was already still married at that time. I don't like stuff like that.
Well,
It
that's
feels very gross. So.
unfortunate. But it's not like she knew what she was getting into.
I know. I think I'm more icked at Robert De Niro, honestly.
Well, wouldn't you date somebody 20 years younger or 30 or 40 years younger when you're 79?
No.
I feel like once you get to a certain age, then everybody's just the same.
Who's the one
you don't
guy?
care.
Who's the old actor who was in like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and stuff?
Dick Van Dyke.
Okay, so like I think
Don't act like you don't know that.
Okay, first I don't, but he also icks me because I think he has a really young wife, even though I think she's in her 50s. But I mean, they're so old.
Yeah.
It always looks like they're with their assistant.
Well, listen, what is he like? He's probably like 90 years old. There's probably not that many
His
options.
wife does look way younger than him. I just looked it up. That's
Everybody
crazy.
looks way younger than him. He's like 100 years old.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is crazy.
So icky. I don't like that stuff.
But she can see him too. She knows what he looks like.
I know, but it feels like they're just taking care of the old person.
Nikki, even better.
Maybe she likes taking care of him.
I can't look at that stuff. I have a real problem with such big age gaps.
I think it's really cute.
You're going to think differently when you're 80 years old. You're going to be like, man, I wish I had a 40-year-old husband.
To take care of me
Yeah.
because I'm in my 80s. I can't. This one's been very hard.
The wild thing is, this is what's crazy.
What's crazy?
Is if I do it like the Dick Van Dyke or Robert De Niro way, my wife may not even be born yet.
There's this old
I gotta
SNL
wait till I'm
sketch about
60.
that. Yeah, that's it. So, congratulations to him. But I guess he's never been a favorite actor of mine anyway, so I'm not too disappointed. But I just am disappointed about the numbers.
The age gap is crazy.
It
That's
is
a lot.
crazy.
Like 29 years, that's nuts.
And that's not even as bad as for other actors. So we've seen bigger
nuts.
age gaps.
Man.
Someone's listening right now, and they're like, my wife's 30 years younger than me.
No, no one's that old.
You're right.
though.
Nobody does that except for celebrities.
Like
Nobody does that.
A 5 or 10 year, like, what's the big deal about that? But like, he's 79.
What's
so.
a big age gap for a normal person? I don't even know.
Just a couple years is normal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a normal one. I don't know. I can't think of any normal people, like a normal everyday Joe, that's like a 25-year age gap with their
No,
girlfriend.
I think like 10 is the most like common I get. Like, you know, where I've commonly know people that would do that, but, you know, like adults, like older now. But yeah.
Other than celebrities, they don't do that.
When you're younger, you can only go down so
Yeah,
much.
exactly. So you got to wait till you're older.
That is spot on. All right, it's just icky.
It's the riot.
Oh, this is the new segment. This is Nikki's icky.
Oh, I like that.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.